All right, and 365 days of horsemanship, day 128. As you can probably hear, I'm feeling a little bit better today. I am trying to use this as an opportunity to do some muscle memory with my vocal cords because I think I talk too loud all the time. So, I'm not mad about it. Linda's still here, which is really lovely. Got to come up and watch a little bit more of her talk this morning. And then I came up to see the horses. I had really amazing sessions today actually with both of them, which is really lovely. With Lawrence, I had the most amazing session. Came up, lots of massaging, lots of scratching, lots of itching, and it just felt very harmonious. It felt like there was a lot of flow. I think one of the things that I'm really feeling like is the difference between Mia and Lawrence is like with Lawrence I could sort of ask a little bit more, expect a little bit more, not even ask or expect, it's just things are happening for longer. With Lawrence it's sort of like I feel like in some ways it's almost like there's less pressure because I feel like I'll be standing next to him, or I'll be, for example, massaging his hindquarters just literally up at the top near his spine, and I'm just kind of doing this motion. It feels like something's about to change, like it's either going to get better or it's going to get worse, and I feel like he's about to sort of like move in towards me, which is obviously something that I don't want to be pushed by him, so I'm trying to sort of like yield and flow around him. And I can kind of do that yield and flow, and then I'm just kind of walking around looking for the next spot, and I can find the next spot quite quickly with him where he sort of like draws me in, or I feel like maybe this looks like a peaceful place we can rest, and then I'll come and rest by his other shoulder and just be there for like maybe one breath, and then he feels like he's starting to move again, so I can start to move again, but it all feels like most of the time we're sort of like doing it together in this little dance, and we're not doing anything miraculous to look at. I mean, maybe we are. I think I do need to start trying to film things, but it's really difficult because you need equipment, and obviously I'm not made of money, but it's on the list to start filming these sessions so that I can look back at them as well, because I think that'll be really helpful. But anyway, I'm kind of going from position to position and action to action, and it feels like there's some flow, and then at some point there's kind of a disconnect, and he's walking in the other direction, and then I'm walking away, I'm making a little circle, and I'm just coming back around, and I've kind of lost the connection a little bit, and that's fine, and I'm just walking around him looking for the next place, and quite quickly then he'll draw me back in again. So it's like we can have these sort of extended periods of maybe like probably even close to 5 or 10 minutes where we're doing things together, where we're thinking about the same thing, even if we're not completely sort of in harmony, we're on the same like wavelength, and that's really wonderful. I think one of the other things, I think in contrast with Mia, it feels like I can come in, I can have like a couple of breaths or like a couple of minutes where I'm doing the same thing and it's going quite well, and then I need to make sure that I leave before it gets worse. So I think I'm taking less chances, there's less opportunity for me to be able to, I think, make any mistakes. I'm much more cautious, but I think that's sort of standard for where we're really at. I think Lawrence is it's interesting actually today. I feel like I had maybe like a little bit of a blinding flash of the obvious, where I realized that basically like if I want him to be yielding, I need to kind of yield to him. Like we had this really interesting moment where I was where he was kind of moving and I was moving like around with him, and it was almost like I was yielding to him, and I just kind of had this realization that actually if I'm expecting him in the future to yield to me, then I need to demonstrate that I know how to yield. This is a game, you know, it's play, it's between the two of us, rather than me telling him to do something that I'm not doing. It's sort of like this give and take, and realizing that actually if I'm his friend, it's like, you know, when you were a kid and you used to play like, I don't know, mummies and daddies, or like doctors and nurses or something, and it would be like, okay, you be the doctor and I'll be the nurse, and then like 5 minutes later you'll swap and you'll be like, okay, now I'll be the doctor and you be the nurse, or the other way around, or whatever. And it felt like that to me, like it was like, okay, I'll be the horse and you be the human. Although of course that's kind of, you know, not how it is, but actually when you think about dominant training and what we're expecting, it's like, I guess you'll be the leader and I'll be the follower, right? It's the same thing. It's like, now it's your turn, now it's my turn. And it almost felt like I just had this opportunity where I think he was trying to ask me to massage him somewhere else. And instead of moving to where he'd asked me to, because he was moving in quite a slow, predictable way, I was able to yield with him, and he was almost pushing me through like a hindquarter yield. I was crossing my legs over, and I could see he was a little bit interested in it. And a few minutes later, I was a little bit further away, and I could see him trying the same thing again, just saying like, if you pushed like this way or that way, would I yield with him? Which I did. And so that felt like a real blinding flash of the obvious, to be honest with you. I'm really interested in playing with that a little bit more, definitely. And it's definitely also something that I then took on to my session with Mia. So I went to play with Mia. Again, that was a really nice session. I came in and just walked around a little bit, and I had this feeling in my mind that I wanted to just get really well acquainted with her whole body. I just wanted to go looking for things like just really gently, really nicely. I'm not trying to make her life uncomfortable. I want everything I do to be pleasant. And so I thought, well, what I really would like to be able to do is to touch everywhere on her body and have her feel okay about it. And so I'm just kind of stroking everywhere, trying to find places, just that little like twitch of the skin, you know, because everything means something. And if I'm thinking about her as being, you know, as us as being the same or being similar, you know, like when somebody like touches you in a tickly spot, right, like you like automatically flinch, and just looking for those spots, for those spots for how to touch her there or to make her feel better there, and just to hold my hand there and just see if it can, you know, feel better, or if it gets better or worse, or if it just stays the same for a while, then just move on to somewhere else. And I just kind of played around with that, kind of all over different places of her body. And after some time, she had a couple of focus changes. I was able to play a little bit with these yields. Definitely it felt again more like I was more comfortable in her space, for sure. She kind of came up to meet me, but she didn't come all the way up like she had done the few days before, but she acknowledged me. And it felt like most of the time we were not together in the same way that Lawrence and I are together, but together physically, which was super nice. So all in all, I had a really good session with both of them. I feel really just, I don't know, interested to see where this goes with Mia, with just feeling like I can be around everywhere for her. I can sort of touch every part of her and have that sort of be okay, ask those questions. I know, buddy, I need to let you out. Lawrence is like, can I leave now? But it was a really nice session, actually. Really nice session. I think definitely the combination of the holiday and also having Linda here talking about some really great leadership qualities and how to be a good dominant leader that your horse really loves has been really helpful, because I think it's just given me that little bit of like confidence, I think, to flow with the stress, like to not always be trying to bring stress down. You know, therapy's great, but you don't stay in therapy every day of your life. Your life is for living, and just to kind of like feel like it's okay to just try new things. And can I do this? Can I touch you here? How is it if I touch you here? Is that okay? Like, you know, because ultimately for me, it's like, well, if it's okay, then it's okay. And I can spend 1,000 hours trying to make okay good, or I can find something that's slightly, you know, 1 degree less okay, and make that feel good as well. And that's, you know, that we're all it's all a spectrum, you know, it's sort of give and take and flow, ebbs and flows. So I feel good about it. I feel really good about it.